Now you notice here each joint has a symbol. So that's a rigid symbol. So a bit like when we did constraints, each joint has a particular symbol, so you know what it is. So you can see here, each one has its own. So that's a slider. So you can see the pointed direction where the arrow points to means that it would slide in that direction, i.e. that direction. And it's got the two rails either side that sort of says, look, you can slide along these two rails, but that's all you can do. This one has got that slide. Let me just see if I zoom in a little bit. You have the slide, which is there with the two rails, but you also have the revolve as well. So this one will then obviously slide in and out and revolve around. Now, often you don't really want to see all these joints everywhere because it looks messy. So you can just switch the joints on and off. Now, switching the joints on and off does not remove the joints. It just means that the actual symbol is not visible. You can still do whatever you want. Here, where we've created the joints, this is where they're all housed. So rigid 45 is, if I just, that one will highlight that one. And then we've got revolute, and then we have slider. Now, if you want, if you right click that one, you can edit the joint. So all the things that came up before when you created that joint, you can go back and you can change anything. So you could change it into a different type of joint if you wanted, or you could, on here, there's alignment. So at the moment that's in the middle. So obviously there's a, if you wanted, we could offset, let's say the Y. Is that the Y? Let's see. We'll give it a go. So with the Y, let's go 10 mil and see. No, it's definitely not Y, is it? 0. Let's try the X then. Let's try that as 10. Definitely not that one. Trial and error. We'll get there eventually. So it's the Z, which is 10 mil. So what that's done now is that's offset my position that I set in the middle by 10 mil in the positive direction. You can obviously then put a negative, so it'd be negative 10, and that would set it at that position there. When you go to the joints, if we go to that one, you've also got here edit motion limits. So whereas this one had no motion limits set, you can just by here go minimum of, let's say, 10 mil, and then a maximum of 90. So if we now preview the limits, that will just rotate between those two set angles there. You can drive joints. So if we say like this, we'll do something simple. Let's do this one here. So the pin slot. If we right click that, we can drive the joint. Now, what this will allow us to do is the distance at the moment is 50 mil. So let's say we just want that one at 10 mil. So that will bring it 10 mil in. And let's say the rotation we want, I don't know, minus 45 for the rotation. That didn't do anything, did it? I don't know why. Oh, that was the limits, wasn't it? So if we do right click and then we do animate joint. No, it didn't do it. Let's do that again. Let's see why that didn't do that. So edit motion limits. So with the revolve, minimum of, let's do 0, maximum of 45. Preview that. No, that seems good. So we click OK. Right click, animate joint. See, that will now only revolve the degrees that you set. So that's drive joints. Sometimes you just want to suppress a joint. So let's say with pin slot, let's say we just want to suppress it. Now, the only thing with suppressing, that if you now grab that, it's got no, you can drag it completely out of the way. So this is again where we may go to revert position. That will bring everything back to where it was originally. So suppress is okay, but it will remove that joint, and you can move it, and then when you redo it, it's all in the wrong place. So sometimes on that, say with a pin slot, you may just decide that you want to stop the rotate. So what you have here is you can lock the rotate motion. So what that will mean is this thing will still slide backwards and forwards, but it will no longer rotate. You can't make it rotate. Another interesting thing that you can have, once you've moved some items, if you have a look on joints and you right click, you have a go to home position. Now, you'll see a warning here where it says one or more joints could not be reset to the home position. Now, the reason being is that this has a lock on it. So what we're going to have to do is go back to the rotate, unlock that padlock. Then if we go back to there, we go to the go to. Oh, why are you doing that? Don't know. Oh, it's that one, isn't it? I'm not going to worry about that. So I'll have to reset that one to the offset to reset them back to the home position, and I'm not going to do that.